Harihi Om. Om Tat Sat. We commenced the concept of Sat Sampati, i.e. the 6 virtues, and we began by looking at the first virtue, which is Samadhana. Now, since the ancient times, it's always been said that the strength of character is the very basis of human life. The Shat Sampati, or the 6 virtues, contribute in this respect towards a person becoming from normal to great, from great to greater, from greater to even greater in terms of his character. In fact, Swami himself has said the end of education is character. So the Shat Sampati is often referred to as the 6 forms of wealth, right? Sometimes it's called Dhana Sampati, right? Dhana means wealth. So Sampati means virtues. Therefore, Dhana Sampati means the 6 forms of wealth of character. So wealth of character. So we started by looking at Samadhana. Today, we look at Sama, right? We move on to the second wealth of character, which is Sama, S-A-M-A. Of course, in some places you will see that it's spelled as S-H-A-M-A, right? S-H-A-M-A. So they call it Shama. But I don't want you to mistake that for Shama as in forgiveness, right? Shama Prarthana, you know that. So this is Sama. Now, Sama means having that inner tranquility of the mind, right? You know, Sa, the word Shanti also starts with Sa, Santi, or Shanti if you put an H, right? Also comes from the same root word, which is Sa. This is an extremely important quality, i.e., you know, having a sense of tranquility in your mind. Why? Because when your mind is not at peace, what happens? When your mind is not at peace, your intellect becomes dull and it's heavy. It becomes laden. So you're not able to listen or to understand what someone else is saying, you know, whatever you're trying to read, you're trying to gauge, you're trying to digest. You will not get it because the intellect is dull and heavy. When you have the tranquility, the intellect is at peace, and therefore it is ripe, excuse me, to receive whatever knowledge that is being fed to it. Therefore, first thing that we need to do is to calm our minds. What we need to do is calm your minds. You know, suppose you see someone breaking a rule, right? I mean, often this happens when you're driving on the roads, for example, right? Can happen in any situation, in the house, outside the house, on the street, in the car driving, at work, you know, anywhere. People watching football matches, cricket matches, they get so, you know, worked up that they say and do things. Obviously, when those things are said or done, there is an absence of tranquility. So now you know what I mean by Sama, meaning having a sense of tranquility, balance of the mind, right? So suppose you see someone breaking a rule. If you get angry, what is it going to solve? You're only making yourself miserable, isn't it? Instead, keep a calm mind, be steady. If you need to do something, educate the people or speak to them in a way that you make them realize what they've done, because your mind is at a tranquil stage, not theirs. So therefore, you should be in a position where you're actually able to tell them, you know, what you saw, what went on, perhaps, you know, educate them in their ways, you know, and if they're not willing to listen or to understand, then ignore it and move on. Your journey continues. Your journey doesn't get stunted because someone else has done something that has upset you. So learn to deal with it. You cannot improve someone else by getting angry with yourself. I mean, by getting angry at them, because when you get angry with yourself, right, for not doing anything or for not being able to do anything, you are losing that sense of calmness, that sense of tranquility, right? So Sama basically means the ability to keep a calm mind under any circumstances. That is Sama. And that To give you an example, precisely personifies the Buddha. The Buddha was calm in any situation, right? If his disciples came and said, Master, we have no food, he was calm. If they came and said, people are, scolding us and belittling us and humiliating us and mocking us, he was also calm. So he never knew how not to be calm, only because he had a complete control of sama, or tranquility of the mind. So become like the Buddha. Be calm and sensitize your senses to that calmness, i.e. sama, which is tranquility of the mind. Om Tat Sat.